guess, I can run it for now till we decide, till we have our third and we can appoint a chair. I'd like to call this Teton Valley Parks and Recreation County JPA meeting to order. Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Second. Make a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That agenda is adopted. Okay, item 2, roll call. I skipped roll call. Sarah Warhol from Parks and Rec and Dan Lehman from Teton County.
Here.
Okay, so we don't have a third member. But we do have Suzanne Astle present from the county as well to give us some input, I think, on some of the specific projects that we might be looking at today. Which I think we might just have to skip to that.
Can we talk about the third member a little bit? Just
sure, yeah. Let's chat.
So we're really looking for someone that's invested in recreation that isn't really associated with either one of our organizations.
Yeah, just someone from the county at large that has a, something
vested interest.
Yeah, and they're gonna be helpful in moving things along.
So anybody that's ever just even visited the parks and has a vision for what they would like the parks to look like, or people that utilize the trails a lot, or we'd love to get people from the horse community to get involved too. Just basically anybody that's got a vested interest in recreation.
Okay, and I've actually talked to a bunch of different people, come up with different names. They're reaching out to those people for me right now. So as soon as I hear something, and if you want me to, I can really focus on finding a horse person,
I haven't, it's not necessary.
I was thinking,
I'm trying to go for a broad, because each city gets an opportunity to do these kinds of things. And if we have people on the board that aren't necessarily understanding of the needs of the horse community, maybe this might be a good idea to bring somebody in. We've got a lot of input coming in for trails and parkways. I think we've got a lot of input coming in from overall recreation for the city of Drix, because they do already have their own committee.
Okay.
And the same thing's kind of going on over in Victor, as our third is really invested in baseball and the little leagues. So he knows a lot about the needs of that sports community, and he has the people, he knows the people to talk to.
I would think there's people in the community that have interests and are involved in multiple recreation activities, the horse and hiking, or that kind of thing. So
when we had the fairgrounds on there, still that one of those extra positions would have lended itself to that, I think.
So they're working on their own JPA.
I don't know what's going on. Nobody would tell me why it had to come off. It just said it had to come off, and I don't know. I even asked a question. I don't even got an answer.
It was legally about something about the fair board and their authority.
Yeah, and which is fine. It's supposed to be about the fair.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the fair board was created for the fair. There's a lot of counties that don't have the facilities that we do. They just have a little place to have the fair, and that's it. So.
Did anybody go to the rodeo this weekend?
I went Friday night.
Was it packed?
Oh yeah, they definitely packed the place.
Did
they were sold out, I think, on tickets, if I remember right.
It felt oversold.
Oh,
yeah.
There were a lot of people standing at the fence, that kept looking back for space in the bleachers, and 3 rows of people deep, standing at the
wow,
fence.
that's a lot of people.
It was cool. Very, very cool athletes, very cool animals.
It's a different caliber,
talent.
caliber.
The talent was awesome. All right, so third person, did you want to name any names now?
No, I actually don't know any names, but everybody I talked to was like, I have a great person in mind,
Just let them know, and I don't know how to put this, and I'm trying not to make it trying to sell the idea of doing it, because I think it's an important role anyways, but they're quarterly meetings. So this is not we're gonna be super demanding of their time.
Yeah.
If there's an instance where we do need to get projects pushed through, or things that come up and, you know, all of a sudden the budget now has been moved somewhere else, then we need to, you know, get our chickens in a row together. It might be a good idea, like, to be able to host special meetings every once in a while, but those need to be posted within 24 hours.
Okay.
Just, I don't want people to think that we're doing this every single week and that we're tying them up with
Right,
meetings.
okay.
Probably another kind of kickoff sort of meeting and then. Yeah. I guess it depends how our discussion goes today, what we already have ready for a third person to evaluate. Or bring to the table. So what do you got? Did you have a chance to look at the Driggs examples and
Did,
see how that,
yeah,
and those, the template still has room for improvement probably.
Yeah,
For ours, I did add something that the cities don't have, which is the ownership piece and like, because if you guys have an agreement already with, say, like TVTAP is maintaining trails, like where you have easements in place for that trail already, like we shouldn't have to go back to the drawing board and have an agreement with Teton Parks and Rec. We should be able to work through the county's agreement
Right.
for these, but it's good to just have that background information on there, so when we're presenting this to the commissioners or to our board, it's just a streamlined sheet they can look at and kind of have a history of the facility and the project that is being proposed. So if you can think of a better way to word things or line them out, I think that template can be adjusted a bit for our purposes.
I think another thing that John had mentioned and Matt had brought up at the last meeting too was, long-term maintenance costs on things. What that looks like, is there long-term, only because I don't think we're not knowledgeable enough in the extent of our budget and what the budget process looks like. We haven't been around long enough to have a long-term view of if we took on a bunch of maintenance, long-term maintenance projects, what kind of can of worms that's gonna open.
right,
So, for example, with Victor, if we do this bathroom, they're already ready to take on the long-term maintenance of a bathroom because they've already been doing it. It's not adding more to a parks person's plate. It's not taking on a role or having to bring in another employee. It's already in that scope of the budget. We're just basically cleaning it up, updating things that need to be updated. But we're not looking to take on weed abatement contracts for the future. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just one of the things right now we're not prepared to do. But in the future, it's not saying we can't do it. We just, if we do it for one, we're gonna need to do it for every single JPA. And before we know it, our budget is nothing but maintenance
yeah,
and long-term maintenance costs. When really there are so many backlog projects that need to be done first before we look at.
so and that's kind of why this is built around facilities, right? Yeah, and that's the thing is, we don't have a ton of facilities, like,
Well, I've been thinking, cause as I was, putting together this list of where I thought the rec district could, help and support the facilities
Mhm.
side of the county. It's not related to our buildings or anything like that,
Right.
but it's related to, river sites, river access sites, you know, those kind of places. And then also for instance, we have there's a not porta potty, but a vaulted toilet out at the fishing pond going over towards the pass. So it's not on the river.
Connie's Pond.
Is that what it's called? But that's a place though that,
everything has multiple names.
that's a place where Fish and Game right now, they go and maintain that vaulted toilet.
Right.
And so I just wasn't thinking that you guys would be interested in our buildings at all, but in those areas where community members go to recreate.
Right.
So I think these then kind of fit with what you guys are talking about.
Okay, well, good.
Except for, I don't know,
Can't see what I need.
well, we really just came from and asked for some additional money on the match on this grant.
Okay.
I mean, and maybe I'll let Susan speak to, like, Susan feels pretty confident.
Suzanne.
I'm sorry, Suzanne, about the grant, right?
As far as it's being funded, yes.
Yeah,
It has been approved for funding by the State Parks and Recreation Department Board. And so it is now been sent to federal highways because it is federal money and they have to approve it. But my contact with the State Department is that since their board approved it, they don't see any reason why the federal highways people, their board would not approve it. She said what they have done in the past is they can tack on additional permits that need to be obtained or additional not activities, but additional things that they want done because of being in the river and, you know, that kind of thing. But so that our state office is absolutely saying that, yes, plan on it being a funded project. We just need to wait and get the official word from federal highways and get a contract signed before we can do anything. So Dan included the grant application in here as well, and then also a breakout. So the budget page is in here, and then a breakout of where the match needs are. Because in the budget, I had to identify what the grant was going to pay for, and then what the match was going to pay for. And so then I just broke that out, and so we could look at the match amount, the total, which was almost 32,000. And then I subtracted out the county labor. That's our in-kind match. And then also the 10,000 that the rec district has already committed to helping us with. And then that leaves a need of 18,000, a little bit over 18,000 cash that is left for the match. And so then this proposal is in regard to that additional 18,000 that whether it's the county ends up paying or combination of county. And if you guys are able to put additional monies toward that match amount.
When does this come through? Cause I'm thinking we have a lot of money to spend still for 26 fiscal year.
And that ends
So,
the same as our fiscal year, right?
yeah.
So
I feel like we had money set aside for this project in case the grant didn't go through.
oh, you did?
It was,
I
I
was
mean, it
not
was on the
aware of that.
list, that list that you had the other day, wasn't it on
Yeah,
there?
I had
It
added,
was like 30,000 or something like that for that parking area.
yeah. Yeah,
I mean, I'm trying to find it right now.
Which would not cover a lot.
No,
Compared to
but
what the
it would
grants
have
did.
gotten it back good in shape a little bit. It wouldn't, like, it could have fixed the apron and added some gravel and do the grading, but. Yeah.
So timing wise, what I have been told is August is the earliest date that we will know from federal highways, but they also award BLM and Forest Service, they award federal agencies first, notify them. So I'm thinking it's going to be September actually before we hear of anything. But I also was told that in the past they have, for whatever reason, drug their heels on making those decisions and then notifying those who need to know. So it has in the past been all the way as late as October before they notify anybody. It just depends on how it rolls. So would the money for what you have for fiscal year 26, would it have to be spent in fiscal year
We have that
26?
question too, and Victor, and I believe it's like a must spend.
No, but if we have the money available, why not?
But if it can be earmarked, if we're not at that point, because we are not able to do anything that is in the grant prior to having that contract signed with the Idaho State
Right,
Department, because if we do, it won't be covered by the grant money.
okay.
And so, but if it could be earmarked
Mhm.
for helping or covering all of that 18,000 additional amount,
Mm.
knowing that the grant project is going to move forward, even though it may not get started until October. But if we are able to sign in September,
Right,
I just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, so looking back at our spreadsheet, like, because we had a little tab for Teton County, Bates parking lot reconstruct and overlay. We had 30,000 for that. And I think that was kind of what, kind of the minimum to do in that area. Yeah, if you
Okay.
get the grant, you could do way more.
Right,
But
right.
I feel like that number came from the waterways sheet, just how John noted it, because he tried to keep track of where we got information. And I guess at some point, the waterway committee might have worked on something. I don't know.
Didn't we talk, Dan, to the
Can't remember.
advisory committee quite a while ago and before, I mean, right around maybe when I submitted it?
Yeah.
And I can't remember if we shared the budget sheet with them or not, because if we did, that may have been where they pulled some numbers like that from.
Just looking at this,
So even with the 10,000 and the 18,000, that if all of that was done, that would be, 28,000.
Yeah, I feel like that was a pretty good estimate then of what was gonna be needed to help out there. Kind of knowing that the commissioners were gonna be conservative on what they wanted to spend on recreation, so
Gotcha.
we went a little higher, maybe, I don't know. Cause the other thing, so that was guess that's South Bates access improvements, had a WAG. It's John's wild ass guess. WAG. I mean, I think he bases it on, common practices, so.
Right.
oh, the 30,000, here it is. So this came from Dan and Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
Oh, that's the spreadsheet you showed me
that's the one,
earlier.
yeah.
Gotcha.
And I thought Daryl had made, I talked to him, he'd
Oh.
never seen it before.
Dan and Kim did it?
Last fall.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we're pretty far along, I thought, until we got hung up on this JPA and not getting in a commissioners meeting to be able to talk to them. I literally
Right.
got pushed like 3 times,
Yeah,
4 times.
Right.
2 months.
Right.
At
Right.
least. So, yeah, we're just kind of behind on the paperwork part, but I feel like all the ideas are there.
So what's the process then, as far as determining or committing that additional funds for this grant?
just taking it back to the board and having the board decide that this is something that we can do within our scope.
I wonder if we need our 3rd person in place.
We do, we
Be
need
able
a
to
third
vote
person
to
today
say-
to be able, so maybe
to
this
make
might be a
action on
push
it.
to get that third person in as soon as possible.
okay,
At least before we start talking about next year's budget in August.
Sure.
Probably look at scheduling a meeting with you all again in July. We'll
Yeah.
also have results back for our master plan too. That'll be able to start
okay,
kind of getting the wheels going on ideas. But for for this project, yeah, we would just need to take this idea back to the board and then they approve it and then.
And so there's still
This is
time
like-
to do everything and still meet this fiscal year
Oh, yeah.
requirement.
Oh, yeah.
I think with the fiscal year, don't we need to make sure we have everything spent before 2 weeks before the year starts? So that's how
Yeah,
Standpoint was. We
whatever we
got
need
an
to
alert
roll
that
into
said
next
spend what
year
you need
and
to
then-
spend. You're
Yeah,
not getting it back and we lock everything down like 2 weeks before October. So I
I
don't know
think
what that's how it goes
what
here.
we should really be looking for. is just our front page of our budget. Which is a little more general than what we dialed into. But just information's sake, we didn't really commit to much, like administration, contract services, operational support, maintenance, capital improvements, grant matching opportunities. Loan repayment, like we had to do that for sure, that's done. But yeah, so our general terms can cover a lot of different projects for the 2026 year. But I think
Gotcha.
going forward, we want to get just a little more
Dialed
specific.
in.
It's still like a little last year.
Well, this helps because you have the grant now, you have the budget from the grant, and really, we're just asking for more match from you guys, because
See that for the cover.
This includes
And
the
just-
10,000.
so you know, it wasn't actually budgeted for in the county budget, so it would just come out as a general fund, which we're always hurting
Yeah.
with the general fund.
No, I think,
Yeah.
anything that wasn't already committed, because we want to avoid the double taxing.
Yeah.
Because like if you already committed it, then that's kind of like
Right, right.
where it's supposed to go. That's where the people,
Right.
when they approved the budget by not objecting.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking now of fiscal year 27, where we are with the county just starting our communications with and discussions with the commissioners about that. There hasn't been a commitment yet for funds, let's say, for the waterways, where that's where in the past I've paid the garbage pickup and the ADA porta potties out of. But if we were to look and see and ask that in the future for next year, that you guys were to take care of that, then we would not want to include it in the fiscal year conversations with the commissioners,
Yeah.
right? So that
I
double
mean,
tax
I would say,
doesn't.
that if it's something that they're looking at as a big scratch off their list, where we can use this money elsewhere.
Mhm.
And it's something that we can entertain the idea of being able to do.
At least for 2027.
Right,
There wouldn't be any kind of guarantees going forward because we won't have the complete master plan in place till the end of this year. So we would look to be implementing that going forward, I would think.
gotcha.
I would hope that we're on track, that people want stuff funded at the river and that's what the plan is gonna like
Well, there's
lend
still-
itself to, but we can't guarantee it.
Right,
That's where people want the money to go. But for 2027, we can, so if you guys just need kind of a little break. like,
Right.
Okay,
right.
we got it funded for a year.
We would need to make sure then that that's not included in the budget
Or say the
request from the
district.
commissioners.
Give us
I
a
am- I just wrote up a quick thing. And it doesn't really have to do facilities, but I was worried about the river ambassadors, and I think they're just so important with all the use that we're getting on the river.
Yeah.
And we have some great ambassadors that I think they're doing a great job this year. And so I thought about, well, we don't normally have as much money as we did in vessel funds this year. Vessel funds can really only be spent on river ambassadors, garbage pickup, things like that.
Associated with the river.
Anything associated with the river. So I kind of did the math in my head and thought, okay, I'm gonna get this much I only get about 8,500 a year in vessel funds. Even though we had almost 20,000 in that account this year because we hadn't spent it. And then we charge commercial river fees. We have 2 commercial outfitters on the river. And they've charged $5 a head. So then I just did the math. Well, how much is it gonna cost me to have river ambassadors, 2 river ambassadors and a camp host at Rainy?
Right.
And I'm $7,300 short for next year.
Wow.
Right.
Right.
And
If-
that's, and that's
if-
not even including the garbage pickup.
None of
for
that.
those
That's
Yeah.
the people.
Yeah.
That's just
That's
people, yeah.
bodies,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'd say is we have them on the list, like it wasn't like we were kind of behind, like this 15,000 must have came from that spreadsheet.
Yeah,
River Investors 15,000.
yeah, yeah,
I feel like if they're working on a site that is established within the JPA,
mhm,
we should be able to fund at least a percentage of their time, you know, like
Yeah.
how much time are they dedicated?
The
to
conversation we
like-
need to look at too, and I think we were kind of tapping into this with that rock climbing wall, is what this is gonna look like if we took on projects or programs. And I would refer to this as a program.
Yeah.
It's an employment,
mhm,
summer, seasonal, full-time employment. We would need to figure out whose scope they're going to be under. Is it gonna be, if we're funding it, are they our employees? And then we need to.
They're already his.
This year they are.
yeah,
But if he doesn't have a budget for it next year and he can't go through the hiring process and doesn't have the budget for the hiring process, then we're funding something that needs to be under our scope because that liability is gonna fall under us too, making sure that the employees show up when they're supposed to and they have the equipment that they need. And so that's where I think it's possible. I just think that there's a deeper dive that we need to go into on what it's gonna look like.
Yeah.
And
And I
we
think that's an
already,
important conversation to have anyways, because if there are opportunities where we start taking on recreation programs from groups that can't afford to do it anymore, whatever the circumstances may be, or we develop a new program for the county that we have to start from ground zero, we've got to get those employees in place anyways.
yeah. So that'll just give you a little bit of an idea of what I feel like I'd be short for River Masters next year. The vessel funds is an estimate, and then the river user fees are an estimate too, so, just going off what the last couple of years have been like. So that's the 2027 thing right now, so we have enough to fund our river masters this
Yeah.
summer, yeah.
It would just be, and then, yeah, if we're looking at the 2027 budget, which this is what this is. So it would just be one of those things, it might get approved, but yeah, it couldn't necessarily be guaranteed going forward unless within the rec plan, people identify the river as being important and
Yeah.
the programs supported by.
One of the, we got 50 applications for those two seasonal, no benefit positions.
Yeah.
And we were able to choose like out of some extremely good candidates. So it makes me feel better that we have somebody with first aid training, with CPR training, with swift water rescue training on the river, and they're regularly floating the river looking for situations where people get themselves in trouble, so I feel really good about that.
Oh, absolutely.
Where are you guys at with that QR code program that you were gonna do?
We have temporary QR code signs out now, and
oh, do we?
Yeah. yeah, their first day on the job, we have our bank account set up. It's called the Waterways and Recreation Fund. And we have the QR code temporary signs out there right now. So we haven't got a statement yet, so I'm dying to know at the end of the month
So
how many people.
what is
doing
that money dedicated to? Are they recommending you save that up for their plan? Cause since we're doing our own plan, we didn't see the merit, or I don't know the right word for that, but in funding two plans this year,
Right.
or
And we always felt like the improvements, the river ambassadors, they're more important than having the plan right now.
yeah,
So I'm happy to, put that on the back burner for now. I did do some research on that and came up with a number of $150,000, I think.
I
Yeah.
think that was kind of the last waterway committee. I
Yeah.
went to.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Rob's vision was always to have like a full-time recreation manager, and somehow it became my position. And like today, I'm listening from the other room as I'm getting ready for this meeting, and they're having a planning staff meeting, and they're just like, they're sending more stuff my way all the time. So it's like I get to work on recreation less and less and less. And that, like, I'm trying to put up a fight here
Yeah.
and be like, you guys have to take this is a 50-50 job. And I'm not really, I'm probably doing 90-10 right now, so
Yeah.
There's enough for a full-time rec position.
There is.
That was one of the things that Rob knew when he was trying to get that approved. There's enough to do.
And we have all kinds of, Rob was working with Rob Van Kirk at the, what is it called, the Henry's Fork Foundation
Oh.
to do data collection on, and so we want to know how many people are using the river, and are they visitors, are they locals,
Right.
are the numbers growing after a year, and we haven't collected data for 2 years now since Rob hasn't been involved, and I'd love to see that start back up, because you
Yeah.
can only go about 2 years, in the data set without collecting data,
Absolutely.
meaningful data.
Well,
So
and that,
We had 7,000
for
in
that,
2026 for that.
yeah,
So
I
and,
haven't even had a
maybe that's
chance to like
portion.
look
I mean,
into
if
it
you,
right
if
now.
it's a duty you can add to the River Ring ambassadors, like, can they stop and
for the data
Check license
collection though,
plates
they
and-
have to do it at certain times.
It has to be totally random, so we need Rob to like develop the whole program on how we collect that data, but even I'm having the ambassadors collect data right now, just write down license plates and.
And I will tell you that having that data included in the grant application carried a lot of weight.
I bet it did.
When I was talking to, different members of the advisory committee who it has to pass for approval, the very first step. When I was talking with them about the numbers and everything, they were really surprised at how many people are on our system, are on our river,
Yeah.
and how quickly it has increased. So those are important.
It's over, I think it's
That's important data.
more.
Well, the more data you have, the more argument you have on why you need more money. Employees, the more you need to grow the department. If you don't have that data, people are gonna go on, well, you're so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Been through that before.
I saw Bolem's had like float the river t-shirts, like for sale in the store, and the more you talk to more people that move here, I mean, I talk to tons of people there that's like number one on their list is float the river,
Well, and it doesn't help when you go down this highway, and even when you're in the back highways, they have everything set up, rent out your boat.
I
We've
know.
got the PFTs, we've
Yeah.
got, paddle boards. It's advertised right there, and even if people are thinking all they're gonna do is come in and hike like $100 to get a boat for a day, that'd be fun,
I know.
so.
And you can't argue with numbers, with the data. So if you're not out there on the river to see it,
Right.
the numbers still say so.
what info are you guys collecting with the QR code? Is it just a simple donation or are you like zip codes?
We actually have two QR codes, one to just give a simple donation, and one, we have a survey out right now
Okay,
that one of the river ambassadors put together,
cool.
asking questions like, where are you from, how did you hear about this, things like that.
It might be helpful for us to get some of that data for our plan.
Sure,
So
sure.
sure what kind of,
Do you know if there's been a response to the QR codes yet? You get notified about?
I'll get a statement at the end of the month.
Okay.
Yeah, the first statement didn't really have the signs out yet, so this will be the first statement, whether they've been out like 3 weeks now.
Gotcha.
So I'm dying to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they asked me to estimate, they have to charge you a fee for how many transactions you do, and I was like, I have no idea, like, they may end up in the weeds, someone may tear them off the side of the building, who knows? That would not be out of the realm of possibility. And
so we should probably include that, not that it's a fee being charged, but maybe instead of fees in like income or
Right.
revenue. So what the word I'm looking.
But I did not take into account any of the garbage can or any of the garbage pickup and porta potties that Suzanne usually pays for out of those VESA funds,
Okay,
Um,
probably need that because that number is gonna go up.
and, and Fish and Game has really been asking us if we could, now that we have a rec district, if we could take over maintenance on the bathrooms. It's hard for them. They have 71 sites across the state.
Yeah.
We're the farthest ones out. So if something comes up, they get turned away and then our bathrooms go 2 weeks without cleaning or restocking. And it's, even now, like the river ambassadors have brought back pictures.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We don't want this reflects really poorly on us
Right.
when these things are damaged and.
I spoke with the Fish and Game tech who comes out and does that maintenance. And in our county, we have simply from Harrops to Victor, we have 8 vaulted toilets that he takes care of. And then there's one quite a ways north of Felt that Daryl said is also in the county. The fishing game bag was not sure. And then there's one out at the fishing pond as well. And so he regularly actually gets called away on other projects. So if there's construction projects or other things throughout the his region, he gets called away. It's in the past, it's actually been longer than 2 weeks even.
Yeah.
That we haven't had someone from Fish and Game keeping an eye on those.
Right.
And so the county in the past has also then helped provide toilet paper
Yeah,
and taking it out there because it would go days and days, especially in the heaviest part of the season with no toilet paper in there. And it's like, no, we can't do that.
right.
Do you guys have
So-
access to funding then from Fish and Game?
Mm-mm.
Like,
They-
if they were to stop coming, would there be any funding?
Oh, that they
coming
would
our
then
way?
donate.
Like, or access to
That
that?
conversation is never,
Yeah, I could ask,
I don't know.
yeah,
I just wanna make
I
sure,
don't
cause
know.
those dollars come from people buying fishing licenses, hunting licenses, and. I just got my invasive species sticker, although that might be state parks. I don't know, there's so many different things.
But I
think.
think that one is State
Yeah.
Parks and Rec,
Yeah,
yeah.
so like there's all these different funds that exist already. And in the interest of not double charging people, it
right.
would be good if.
Yeah,
if
I
it's
don't-
Supposed to go somewhere, it should still go there and then see like.
I don't
what
know
we do after
if,
that.
I don't know if licenses and tags and those kinds of things pay his salary, go towards paying his salary or not. That is something we could certainly check with Fish and Game.
Or even just the supplies, being able to cover costs for supplies, but maybe not provide the employee.
Yeah, I don't,
That was always their problem with charging fees at some of these sites. And even at Rainy, they won't charge fees because they figure people are already paying for fishing licenses and things like that.
But the one though that they were telling me about that where it's very successful, where the rec district took the site over and developed it and started a fee paying system. I would have to go back and it's Brent,
Right.
and ask him again, if they made an exemption for those who actually had and could show that they had a license, whether it's hunting or fishing, and then if they were exempt from paying that fee and if they use that,
Discount or something.
yeah. But he was very encouraging with Rainey and if we had the district and the involvement.
What kind of agreement do you guys have in place out there?
We have an
Is there an
MOU, yeah, yeah.
I haven't seen that, so I'm not
It
sure.
was in the river folder that he shared with me.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's one of those instances, like, if we could work through the MOU you guys already have.
Yeah,
I mean, it might be a question for legal, but.
That's what they told me on Thursday. We had a few of the federal government representatives come in and talk regarding the master plan. And I had mentioned us getting a dialogue going as far as trying to get a JPA in place, and he's like, no, you're better off going through the county. We already have an agreement with him, because he brought up everything you just brought up, was the
Yeah.
bathrooms and how y'all are able to have the river, ambassadors there, and that it's just, to get somebody out here when he's covering
Yeah.
so much ground
Yeah.
already,
It's difficult, very difficult.
that this could be the first place that they're like, we're just gonna allocate all of our funds somewhere else. Good luck, county. Who knows? You just don't know. I've seen the YMCA's pull from their groups, so it's possible the federal government will take money too, away from sites.
Yeah, and.
But it'd be nice to see what kind of partnership or how we can get a third party, us involved in that MOU. And maybe that needs to be a discussion when he comes through the next time that we get together and
Sure.
get all of our questions out of the way for everything,
Yeah.
including winter sports,
Yeah,
of what this is gonna look
Allison
like.
had mentioned that meeting was coming up. I didn't realize it was the next day. I
Mhm.
would have tried to go.
But well, if we can get the representative that comes out and we
Yeah.
put together a meeting just to get all of our questions hashed out or how this partnership could look, that would get us way ahead of what we had anticipated working with the federal government too.
Would our attorneys then need to be involved in that as well?
I think obviously we're gonna need to have attorneys involved,
After,
just because this will be in addition to whatever contract or
Right,
how we
right.
insert ourselves into yours.
right,
Yeah.
And
And I think, going off of, I know we've mentioned the money and making sure that if the fees and people are getting tacked for the fishing licenses and all that kind of stuff and making sure those fees are going where they're supposed to, or they're not coming at all. What it looks like for us to take over a site
mhm,
and how that's going to look and who's going to be responsible for the liabilities that come with having an offsite bathroom. Like, what does that look like for us? If we took on that job ourselves, or we hired somebody to do that. But there's always a liability when it comes to a facility that's not technically, we didn't build it, we didn't construct it. We're just taking on the responsibility of it,
Yeah.
what that's gonna look like in detail.
Another component too of those vaulted toilets is pumping them
Mhm.
out. That has not been done since last summer. And so that is also one of the areas that, and I'm actually doing some work on it, finding someone who can so that we can get those done because
We might just have
A
to
couple of
use some
them
of
are
our vet
gross,
funds if
but-
we have.
But one of the things that I learned is that this new supervisor, Dee's new supervisor, is unsure of where to go to have that done. And so what information I get, seeing if they are able to do it here, I'm going to pass on to Fish and Game so that maybe the local company that I have found that I haven't spoken with yet is able to go out and at least do all of the ones here and then see if he's willing to go out of the county as well. But that's a service that is really important in maintaining those vaulted toilets.
Oh, yeah, probably by 4th of July, it's gonna be trouble.
Yeah, well, and the river ambassadors were telling me just yesterday that some of them are starting to smell, and the one at Bates is, I think, the highest as far as the level of it. But I don't want, as a county employee, I don't want to have whether it's community members or tourists that are here starting to call us and complaining about the conditions of them. And so, having local oversight, if you will, on some of those types of things,
Mhm.
I think is easier, more efficient,
Right.
whatever
So
way you describe that.
on this list of facilities, what's Horseshoe Canyon? Is that accidental?
Which one?
This is from the
The
JPA.
parking area at Horseshoe Canyon, like.
That's, oh, yes, yeah, because Pack Saddle is already listed there, Cash Bridge. So at the end of the Pack Saddle Canyon, or yeah, there's where the parking lot is.
Mhm.
There's a vaulted toilet there.
Okay, and then.
But I don't think Fish and Game though maintains that one. I think that's Forest Service because it's not on. I think Daryl would know for sure.
Okay.
But and Dee did not list that one either when he was giving me the list the other day.
Yeah,
So it has to be Forest Service.
okay.
Oh, about Horseshoe, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And old right-of-way road river access, is there another name for that?
No, that's the diagonal road that connects Pack Saddle that connects 4,000 north.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's like a fishing spot. There's all
Okay.
those bridge old bridge piers in the river.
Yeah,
You
sure.
have to like navigate through.
Yeah,
And the road is
rough,
worse than that.
worse than that.
It can swallow vehicles.
So we're looking at roads and, those kinds of things as opportunities, though technically, facilities, are we looking at those as facilities?
I feel
Or
like
leading
it's
into
access
facilities, like
and
it's an access into a facility, so we still can
Oh.
look. We're talking about this again in Victor. We've had some areas where people have brought in just like sand or mulch or, you know, upkeep. I can't remember what it was like we just voted on $7,000 of maintenance going into one of the parks or trails go, like just to get it back up to where it was and at least to make it somewhat playable space.
Right,
But it's things like that. It's if we've got gravel trails that the gravel needs to be redone.
so then
Can
you
we
guys
do that?
would
Yes, because
hire,
it's not maintenance, that's just,
right?
it's a nicety, I guess.
Well, the other thing is,
not super expensive. It doesn't.
No,
have to
we're
go
looking
out to
at
the
another
big-
10 years before we've got to redo it again, or another
Right.
season, or another 2 years. So those kinds of projects we can look at, like the maintenance projects are the ones that are like contracts that are forever going year round to do weed abatement or to, you know, scrub off playgrounds or to anything that becomes like a constant maintainable for every park, every space. That's what we're not looking to do.
Right,
I was also just thinking about the road situation, going back to old right of way. That's something that, Road and Bridge does not specifically budget for.
Mhm.
So that would not be a double taxation then, right? If you guys
Yeah,
did
like say
that.
they plan on grading it once a
They-
year or whatever. We could plan on saying, okay, well, if you grade it, we'll buy the material for you to spread and make it
Gotcha.
the road is supposed to be.
Right.
a real road,
And
you
I
know?
don't know if there is
Or-
regular maintenance done on that. I don't know. That's where I don't know if that is planned even to that degree.
So these kinds of
Mm.
projects, I would strongly recommend, and I know you're spread.
I'll
But this is
add
always
that.
why it's good we get a third person, because if they can do the research on it as well for different projects,
Yeah.
this will take some off your plate and
Yeah.
our plate. But with the way that this is laid out as far as the project description, availability, those kinds of things.
yeah,
Anything that you all believe could be viewed as a facility, that we would be able to help with the process of giving a facelift to,
okay,
those are things that we can.
sure, sure,
So it doesn't have to be a brick and mortar building.
yeah.
It doesn't, it can be other opportunities.
I'm really excited
Playground
about
is not a
this.
brick and mortar,
Right,
but we would
right.
put together a playground if we needed to.
Right.
And, Daryl just hasn't had time to chase the BLM around, but I could. I told him I'd take it on, and I think that's just a great thing. I know a ton of people that would just love to see something, a facility like that. And,
Yeah,
um,
and I think it's just needed. If guns are gonna be part of our society,
You
like,
gotta be safe.
Yeah.
why
Yeah,
not
yeah,
teach people how to use it safely? or-
yeah,
Well, and right now people go out to Rexburg or Rigby, I think, is something as well.
The Sandpoint shooting range is the lowest priced one, I think, in all of North Idaho, and they
Really?
get people from all over the place going out there and shooting.
yeah,
And it's just, I mean, it's staffed with amazing volunteers, one range master that loves, you know, teaching people the safety.
yeah,
Maintaining it, and yeah, it was together with the Parks and Rec Department, our Parks Department, and I think we were partnering with the NRA, the local
Oh.
chapter of the NRA as well. There's a lot of grants that are out there for those too, for shooting ranges, yeah.
I think that
4-H
Daryl,
gets a NRA
We have-
grant every year.
Yeah,
Daryl
programs, there was ladies in
applied.
shooting, and it was a weekend long that we would go into an indoor shooting range that we would rent out from the police department.
yeah,
Just to make women feel more safe when they're handling firearms. It was really cool. I got to do it for free just because they were trying to push their programs. I'm like, oh, I love your programs.
Daryl was really excited because he applied for a Parks and Rec, Idaho Parks and Rec, grant, and they said, we'll give you this grant as soon as you take control of this property. you
Right.
know? And it was a significant grant that would have really improved
Yeah,
that.
they got
site,
some money.
You know, so, and they're excited about funding things like that too, so,
And what's holding it up from us
just.
owning that property is,
VLM has been dragging their feet. They have too much turnover there. I used to work for those guys. I know how it is. It's way too much turnover. So every time they think they have a person that's ready to, excited to get all the paperwork transfer.
Bureaucracy that kicks in and they quit.
They're gone. And then you need someone, then the next person has to start.
Red flags can kill your motivation
Yeah.
very quickly.
So I'm gonna take this on for Daryl, and I'm gonna, like, I could see how much work people have put into this, and I want to see it through to the
Yeah.
end. So, yeah, I think we can make it happen where it's a 27 project for you guys,
Okay.
because we take ownership sometime early next year,
Let's start developing a budget plan for that and what it could look like.
Yeah.
Just make sure we're not double taxing people and.
Right. But yeah, the safety of having people learn how to range is, you can't say it.
Love the range. I love the range guys. I love the staff that was there. They're.
As opposed to a bunch of random people in a gravel pit somewhere, like shooting,
That's a tremendous opportunity. I learned
Yeah.
a lot with my
Oh,
short
yeah.
time in Sandpoint. I learned a lot. I
Yeah.
just wish they hadn't killed my budget, but
Well,
then I
and-
wouldn't be down here, so.
And having a facility like that, a site like that, really helps on the educational component. And with
100%.
guns, you
So
we have
absolutely need education.
They have a Father's Day weekend where the kids go up and
Oh, yeah.
do shooting classes with their dads for free, and the NRA comes up and they have all.
Last time this county.
Yeah.
And
Not just
classification,
disappears.
it has the 2-track unmaintained, so I don't even think they grade it
Okay.
more than.
Which one's that?
The old right
Oh,
away.
right away.
Oh,
So it would just be this little spur goes to the river.
It's graded,
They graded it.
no,
Oh.
it's graded when there's complaints.
Oh,
Uh,
so they'd probably rather not.
So it's not a regular. It's not on the list of regularly doing that.
oh,
So that's why I say wouldn't be double taxed.
I think we should
Those are all good.
put, since we have that one on the JPA, we should put that together as a project, I
Okay.
think. Especially as a safety issue, right? People are getting stuck and.
And the ADA porta potty is down there. And so when the delivery
Accessibility.
guys do it, even for them, there are times that not this year, but in the past years, I was told by them that there have been times that it's been so bad that they've said, we cannot get down there until it's graded. So it is.
Build an ADA platform for fishing also.
Oh, really?
I
I don't think we have anything like that on the river, but
Is
I kind of see that as like a fishing only site, not where people should be launching boats.
I don't think they do launch from there. I think it is just, yeah, there is,
So
there
I
is.
think it'd be cool to have a ADA fishing.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
We don't have anything like that. We'll have to fish up the boat ramps. or
I
not.
didn't know how frequent it's even used.
I see, every time I float that section, there's people fishing there.
Oh, really? So even with the access road the way it is, they still go down and it's a favorite spot then to fish.
It's not a good swimming spot because of those bridge pilings.
Right.
That are there, and it's not a good place to launch a boat for
No.
the same reason, but it would be an awesome place for, some kind of ADA specific access that we don't have.
And that would be a county supported project, I guess, if you will, to have that constructed, designed and constructed. That's a neat idea.
It is, yeah.
That's a really neat
I like
idea.
that idea a lot, actually.
Done other projects like that. When I worked for the DNR in Washington, we built a hunting platform that was ADA, so that people could get out of their truck and be able to hunt from
Oh,
a
yeah.
platform that they
Yeah.
could bring their out on, and I don't know if anyone ever got anything there, but at least it was there and.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
That's.
I think that's a really,
Have a lot
really
of-
great idea. And that sounds to me like a project that the community would get behind for not only just the fishing, but especially with the access for ADA needs.
Absolutely.
But I'm like some of the stuff on the river, just having gone to the waterway committee meetings. It seems like they don't really want to make improvements like that. Did you get that feeling?
Yes,
Like they
yes.
just want us like cut off access to the river.
So-
Like,
Yeah, they feel like
It's for the moose now.
it's overused.
So who owns that property is down there.
The Paxton one?
No,
the
the
old
old
right
right
of
away.
Oh,
I have the road map up with me.
Because if whoever owns that wants to do something like that, that just sounds like a neat project to get behind. Because as far as the cost of something, of a project like that, I wonder if Daryl would.
Oh, it's actually Beal.
is it really?
Think so. Oh, wait, no, that's a Beal and chunk. I need to go to the other side.
Yeah, they're looking to unload land. They are, and you can really.
They have a chunk over here,
Yeah,
But
but when I zoom in further by the river.
But if the owner is supportive of community recreation there, then they might really be supportive of doing a project like that.
yeah.
Especially if it didn't cost them anything.
Yeah.
Everybody else pays for it. It's such a great idea.
No,
Comes from
Love that.
somewhere.
We'd have, whatever we do would have to be within the easement. This person is,
Mm.
have Sundown Springs LLC,
Huh.
Dallas, Texas.
Oh, boy.
And then the
But there has to
other
be,
side of the road is
some kind of
HD
an,
Dunn and, oh, it's part of the ranch.
Oh.
HD Dunn and Son LLC, so that cattle ranch that's there.
but there has to be some kind of an agreement where every year the county, I call and have the ADA porta potty delivered and then picked up. So there has to be some kind of agreement with the county and the owner, right?
Right.
In order for us to do that. I can ask them.
They're calling Old Right of Way Road 8.36 acres.
Hmm.
So that would be from, let's go over here.
Can't remember where it connects to. Yeah, right
Well, so
there.
it goes
Yep.
straight, but this road. 5750.
But I think the actual road though continues, it's that diagonal that then
Oh, yeah,
continues
it
to the
does. And they
south.
grade this other.
Yeah,
section
a lot better. It's just that part that's highlighted right there.
in this
that they
little
don't.
section, too.
Yeah,
Yes, this is a really bad spot, isn't it? Right when you leave the main road. I haven't been back in there on that.
actually,
The thing is
the
terrible.
the worst part of it is a lot closer to the river.
It just looked bad, so I don't tend to drive down roads like
Yeah.
that.
And I think a lot of people do that, but I don't know, that might be a project though that we could.
It's a great idea.
Mhm.
But yeah, but going back to the waterway, I know they wanna do their plan. And maybe we need to wait for things like this to be identified, or do you think it's something that? It's just,
Why would the Waterways Committee need to be involved?
because they're coming up with that plan, right, and they wanna do their.
Yeah.
But they're an advisor, this is how it was described to me, they're an advisory committee to the county.
Yeah.
I just don't wanna bypass them necessarily,
I
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They
They're
did,
intact, they're an intact committee, we're just
right,
spitballing.
I think that if they heard the proposal, they would love it.
but as far as it's
Like that.
based on
Yeah.
them
Okay.
to say no, I don't know that.
Well, they can give advice, yeah.
Oh, I don't even know if the commission would listen, is that?
Yeah. Well, I would say maybe bring it up.
Yeah, I will.
To them
We're
first,
not
and
meeting
then-
again
yeah.
until September, but
Oh, wow, okay.
I'll remember that. Yeah. Yeah, they get so busy during the summer that they want to take the summer off.
I was gonna say, lots of people are taking this
Yeah.
right now too. We just
Yeah.
saw that over in Victor.
So does,
Cause that one's on the JPA, so that, something like that would be something, but.
do Victor and Driggs have a parks department?
No, Driggs has got a recreation committee, the city does.
Yeah,
And so that's kind of been really helpful because they've been basically going through these projects for a long time
Yeah.
before the district came
oh, yeah,
through.
yeah,
Now we're making it possible for their projects to take off. Victor does not, I think, I wanna say Victor has well, no, Victor doesn't even have a parks person. It's all, yeah.
so who's doing are they just Public Works is just
Public
doing
Works.
doing their maintenance and stuff, yeah.
They contract out.
Yeah.
A lot of, yes, a lot of their around maintenance.
I'm kind of learning the whole thing with road and bridge here, like, they don't like to help the county out much. They have their own little thing, right? I'm not saying they don't work hard, but they don't want they want nothing extra, like, no.
Let's see.
There could be listening devices.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you did it.
Well,
Recreation always ends up being its own island in government. It
I
really
know.
does.
I always
It
think-
does. We're not here to, shut off people's water. We're not here to turn off power. We're not here to, see if your building is up to code.
I
It
was,
just, we're our own entity with our own budget, and sometimes.
I think
I was
gotta-
in Buxton and I'm like,
It's a lot
how
of
come
work.
road and bridge doesn't come from green this, and
Right.
everybody looked at me like, are you insane? Like.
I think though that
Can of worms open.
Yeah.
I think Road and Bridge has their to-do list and
Yes.
roads that, they are, and not just the roads, but the right of ways and all that kind of
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
And road margins and stuff, that they have such a huge list of what they are supposed to take care of and lack of employees to do that. So anything extra, even if it is for to help a county department, the time and manpower, I think, is really what limits what they do.
Yeah,
For a brief time, I was a
I learned that
park
quickly.
ranger supervisor for the city of Dallas, and I had 6 park rangers, and the city of Dallas has 400 parks.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay.
and we had hotspot parks,
Yeah,
and the hotspot parks were parks that had an insane amount of illegal and criminal activity that needed to be monitored 3-4 times a day. Depending on what who decided which one was a hotspot park. So when you have 9 park rangers and you break it up into quadrants, and they need to
Oh,
be
gosh.
visiting all of these, and they're
Yeah.
documenting everything, but then we've got I know what that feels like. I know what they're going through.
yeah,
It's not, and then you just get 1 park ranger that decides they're calling out, or you get 2 that are calling out, and
Right.
you're out on those trucks doing patrols, and then you're getting called for, you can get the police or our community relations officer. We've got a problem with homeless that just took over a playground. Yeah, it was, I know what it's like to not have the resources at all. So,
So I'm just getting around to reading Allison's summary of that meeting with the other agencies. They would like funding partnerships to fill in where capacity is needed for key site maintenance, toilet pumping, ambassadors and campos, management for
Yep.
sites that are impacted by users other than the site is intended for. Maintenance of trailheads to be expanded, improved, including Horseshoe. We got that on there. Wet Henderson and Mike Harris. The agencies would like security and continuity and funding for existing programs, which depending on how the plan goes. Programs, like grooming, trail building, etc. A river recreation plan could be useful to create a cohesive management of use. Yeah, so sounds like they're on board with everything we're talking about.
sure.
So that's 2 votes for that type of project and funding and maintenance.
I think all we need to do for this particular one is just get a 3rd person so we can vote on it and get it to the board.
Okay,
That's
I'm on it.
okay.
And then I have,
And this one will take care of the 28 extra, what is it, the 20K, 28,000?
Oh,
needed
for the match.
Mm.
Yep.
And then this one for this season, River Ambassador and Camp Host, that's 2027. We just need to look at what the logistics and details would look like if we took something like that over.
Okay,
there's one more thing, since we've got the trail on there, right? The Teton River Creek
oh, yeah, yeah,
had money in the budget for like bathrooms places. That to me seems like a really good place for a bathroom.
Are
Is
you
that
talking
trailhead across from
Everybody
the dump?
loves that.
the Teton Creek corridor?
A bathroom at that trailhead.
Oh, yeah.
across from the dump would be nice. And that parking lot needs a little, the road in there needs some.
and that,
Hole.
It's on our JPA. I don't know if we had anything set aside for it, but we, our operating funds, John had set aside a couple bathrooms. As far as like.
Yeah, if there was a
something that
vaulted
came-
toilet there, I think that would be very welcomed. Cause I think a lot of people use that. trail.
I use it. It's close to town, so if my daughter's
Easily-
like doing stuff in town, I can pop out there and just. get a
Easily
quick-
accessed and, yeah. Yeah, and improving that road would be really helpful.
And then anything else, cause is there an MOU in place with TVTAP for that trail?
I think, yes, there is, yeah.
So it might be helpful to include that MOU, so we could look at what their obligations are.
Yeah,
And perhaps, cause they need help with funding to
Mhm.
maintain that, so I feel like if you guys have the MOU with them already. We
Work
can
through that
help
again.
with funding for what they're already
Somebody send
doing,
money
like,
To pay them.
yeah, we don't need to create a new partnership or anything, it could just be. Let's pay them for what they're doing or would
Yeah.
like to do. And then,
is, are we the sole owners of Victor Drew's paved pathway?
I've tried to find that, and it's,
it's kind of some kind of easement probably.
Daryl has that as a 2028 project to resurface that.
Yeah, but talking to Dan, like instead of spending a bunch of money resurfacing it, we should be redoing sections of it and widening it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Like making it 2 lanes, like pick a chunk, like work our way north or work your way south and.
how much wider? Was he
I would
thinking?
think at least, so it's 2 lanes. 1 lane each direction, so double the size probably.
Well, cause see, I already look at it as 2 lanes, but it's,
Not now that people have these e-bikes and they're
oh.
screaming by people with
Oh,
strollers and. I would think that's a major pathway.
and it seems like more people are using it, but I didn't realize that was happening.
But his idea would be instead of like shelling out a bunch of money to just resurface it, let's
Improve it.
improve it. First.
So meeting with Dan, I need to talk to him anyway. He's already talked to me about the Teton pathway, so.
Well, I
If we could-
feel like since it's in our JPA, we can work with it
Yeah,
and
Okay.
have a proposal for it.
we'll. work
Those
on
were
that.
kind of the main things, the river and the trails.
Okay.
Since we don't have to worry about the fairground, let's see
Get
what's
that
going on there.
person
Yes.
and do those other proposals and come
Yeah.
back to you.
Yeah.
We can actually, if we need to, before the January or July meeting, we could probably do a special meeting. So if we get the third person.
Mhm.
Before that, we can get a special meeting going, have these proposals ready, then that third person can jump in, look them over and then vote them into. But we're the 14th of July is our next one.
Okay.
So Tuesday, the 14th is our board meeting. So if there's any way after the holiday, we can like aim to get that third person and put in a quick special meeting to move some of these forward, then we can take it back to the board that Tuesday.
That's
And
perfect.
Okay.
That sounds great.
I'd like to be able to just get at least one project from each city going. And if we've got the bathroom going for Victor, that's a huge one.
Hmm.
And one of the parks fixed up a little bit, that's a big one too. So if we could do something with y'all, just even getting these grants going and start moving on one of these projects.
Yeah, if we get this grant from Buxton, there's just so much work to do up there.
Yeah.
Nothing, like, it really sticks in my craw when I see the river look like that.
Yeah.
I just think it doesn't reflect very well.
Absolutely.
So that's pretty important.
Yeah.
But, all right.
Sweet.
And you know, if Dan wants, if you get into a conversation with Dan, because I know he really would like to get the financial help going before winter.
Yeah.
See if he's willing to put one of these proposals together
Yeah,
in this
Yeah, give
format.
him the work.
Give him the format and have him write one of these out.
Okay.
So then we can look at how we would be able to reimburse this. He's been asking.
They haven't done that yet, or like,
He's come and asked, but we
Yeah.
didn't have a JPA, so
Yeah.
we can't we don't have that sweet spot with the nonprofits yet.
Right.
We've not figured out how we can financially give them money.
okay,
Not in the
But-
state.
Since they all have MOUs with cities.
Oh, that's
or they've
perfect.
got
Yeah, so we
the
have
county,
you guys'
then
MOU.
We can.
I absolutely
Yeah.
want to help. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. All
And I
right.
So do
think
we.
he's been such an advocate and we want to help
Yeah.
him too. I don't want him to
He's
think
been
all of this
patient.
work for nothing, you know, well, now we can help you, Dan, but we'd love to be able to help.
But I bet if you send him that template that I sent you,
Okay.
it said,
And I know.
put
how
something
hard it
together
is.
for
funding the nonprofits, you know, been in that world, so.
Yeah, we just don't know how that looks for the district right now. Like,
Yeah.
right now, I think we thought this was gonna be really easy. We could just start, oh, this is a great project. Yes, we support it. What do you know? Statutes get in the way, and
Oh, yeah, yeah,
if we just started throwing checks around, I think we would be throwing a lot more to our lawyer to cover any lawsuits that we were gonna get. So
get a hold of that.
we're moving with intention.
It'll be exciting.
These are good projects that if we move with intention, I feel we're at least close to 100% certain that these should go off without a hitch.
Well, and all of these are helping in areas and supporting areas that so many in the community use.
Yeah,
And so they should be happy
We
with
should notice.
funds going towards those areas and projects.
absolutely. Yeah,
There'll always be a few people you can never make happy. We know all about that, right?
but we can get, you know what, though, we could work on the people who are on the fence about this. And if
Exactly.
those people that are on the
Yeah.
fence just want to see results.
Right.
And if they see things that their kids would love to be able to participate in safely, or, you know, have something at
Easier
the
and it's, yeah,
community events, and there's a bathroom at City Park at Victor, and, you know, the T-bone group has now got shade over there. They'll start to see that this wasn't such a bad idea. Because the cities aren't in a position to have a rec department yet anyway, so
Sure.
All
we're
right,
here to act as that.
I will make a motion to adjourn the first GPA meeting.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Right?
Aye.
Oops.